Welcome back to the deep dive. Usually when we start these sessions, I'm staring at a physical snack of paper.
Right, yeah. Academic journals,
Yeah.
lengthy reports.
Exactly, maybe a leaked manifesto or two. We spend our time, sifting through thousands of words just to find the narrative thread.
It's usually an exercise in compression, right? Taking a novel's worth of data and turning it into a coherent conversation.
Right, but today the source material it's minimalist. We don't have a stack of papers. We have a single digital artifact, a redirect notice.
Okay.
And inside that notice, just a single URL.
So it's a complete inversion of our usual process. Instead of summarizing a lot of text, we're going to be unpacking a very dense string of information.
We're doing digital archaeology today.
Digital archaeology. I like that.
The artifact in question is a Google redirect notice. Most people, I think, just click past these things without blinking. It says the previous page is sending you to, and then it lists the destination.
Which is just standard internet plumbing, really. But I'm guessing in this specific case, the destination URL tells a story.
It tells a terrifyingly complete story about the current state of cybersecurity.
Okay.
Let's put the artifact on the table. The URL in question is from BleepingComputer. I'm going to read the slug, the part after the domain, because that's where the story lives.
Right.
It reads, "Fake LastPass Bitwarden breach alerts lead to PC hijacks."
Wow. Okay. That is a dense sentence.
It's a headline, a warning, and a crime scene all in one. We have the perpetrators, the method, the targets, and the consequences, all just separated by hyphens.
And if you know how to read that string, you understand exactly what kind of campaign is running right now. You don't even need to click the link to know the stakes.
So that's the mission. We're going to deconstruct this URL string segment by segment to really understand the threat landscape it's describing. Let's start with that first chunk, fake breach alerts.
This is the hook. And it really highlights a shift in how attackers are operating. We aren't talking about the Nigerian prince emailing you anymore.
Right. The fake breach alert implies a level of contextual mimicry. But why fake an alert? I mean, why not just send a phishing link asking for a login?
Because of the psychological state it induces. A login page is passive. It just sits there, it waits for you. An alert is active. It demands your attention.
Right.
When that notification pops up, maybe it looks like a browser notification. Maybe it's a pop-up styled like Windows Defender.
Yeah.
It triggers an immediate something is wrong response in your brain.
The amygdala hijack.
Exactly. Your brain perceives a threat to your digital safety, and logic takes a backseat to urgency. The attackers know that if they can convince you that you're already under attack, you'll lower your defenses to fix it.
So it's the wolf in sheep's clothing tactic, but modernized. They aren't pretending to be a bank offering you money. They're pretending to be the security guard telling you the bank is being robbed.
And that differentiation is key. The URL uses the word fake. That tells us this is a social engineering play. The vulnerability isn't in the software code. The vulnerability is in the user's reaction time.
And the text "lead to" in the URL. That implies a process. Fake alerts lead to. It's not instant.
No. And that's a crucial technical distinction. This isn't a drive-by download where you just visit a site and get infected instantly. Lead to implies a funnel.
A funnel.
Yeah. You click the alert, you're taken to a landing page, you're instructed to download a fix or update your credentials. You are an active participant in your own compromise.
You're basically holding the door open for them.
You are.
Now let's look at who they're impersonating. The URL explicitly names LastPass and Bitwarden.
This is where the URL starts to tell us about the economics of the attack.
How so?
Well, attacking a random forum account gets you. Maybe a username. Attacking a Netflix account gets you free movies. But LastPass and Bitwarden, these are the vaults.
The keys to the kingdom.
Exactly. If you compromise a password manager, you don't just get one account. You get the bank, the retirement fund, the corporate VPN, the email, your entire identity. The return on investment, the ROI for the attacker is, it's infinite compared to other targets.
It's interesting that the URL groups them together. LastPass Bitwarden, does that mean they're working together?
No, it implies a campaign, a toolkit. It tells us that the attackers aren't surgically targeting one company's infrastructure.
Okay.
They have likely built a kind of fake alert framework that could dynamically swap the branding. Today it looks like LastPass, tomorrow Bitwarden, next week it could be 1Password.
So it's a template.
It's a drag-and-drop attack vector. The fact that BleepingComputer grouped them in the slug suggests the reporter saw the same underlying mechanism targeting users of both platforms, probably at the same time. It's a wide net.
And that creates a unique problem for the user, right? If I see a weird pop-up for Bob's Discount software, I just ignore it. But if I'm a Bitwarden user and I see a Bitwarden alert,
You hesitate because you trust the brand. That trust is exactly what is being weaponized here. It's a supply chain attack of the mind. They are leveraging the credibility of LastPass and Bitwarden against their own users.
okay, so we have the hook, the fake alert, and the target, the password managers. Now let's talk about the destination. The end of the URL string says, lead to PC hijacks.
That is a heavy phrase.
It's very specific. They didn't write lead to virus or lead to malware or even lead to data theft. They wrote PC hijacks.
And in the security world, terminology matters. Virus is a generic catch-all. Data theft is an outcome. Hijack describes a state of control.
So what does a PC hijack actually look like in this context? Are we talking about the computer locking up ransomware?
Not necessarily ransomware, though that could be the endgame. When a reporter, like the ones at BleepingComputer, uses hijack in a slug like this, they are usually referring to a remote access Trojan ET, or a sophisticated info stealer.
So someone else is driving.
Correct. Hijack implies the loss of sovereignty. The user is no longer the administrator of their own machine. The attacker likely has persistence.
Meaning they can reboot the machine and they're still there?
They're still there. They have a connection to a command and control server. It could be just sitting there.
Just watching.
Could be watching. Logging keystrokes to get the master password for the vault. Accessing the webcam. Browsing your files. But given the target is password managers.
They probably want the data.
They want the vault. So a hijack here likely means they're exfiltrating the encrypted vault file and then sitting on the system waiting to capture the key. It is a total compromise.
That distinction is terrifying. If I get a virus, I run an antivirus scan. If I get hijacked,
You might need to nuke the machine, reformat, start from zero. Once a RAT has deep persistence, trusting that machine again is, well, it's very difficult. That's why the consequence listed in the URL PC hijacks is so critical. It raises the stakes from annoyance to catastrophe.
and remember, this whole thing starts with a user trying to be safe. They click the breach alert, thinking they are preventing a disaster.
And by doing so, they initiate the hijack. It's the paradox of safety. The action taken to secure the system is the very action that compromises it.
Let's pull back for a second and look at the source of this URL. The domain is BleepingComputer.com and the path is new security.
Context is everything.
Yeah.
If this URL string fake LastPass breach appeared on a domain like, I don't know, supportalert-247.com, we would be looking at the attack itself.
Right.
But because it's on Bleeping Computer, we know this is threat intelligence.
And Bleeping Computer is a major hub for IT professionals.
Exactly. They don't write fluff. Their headlines and their URL slugs are designed for high information density. They write for sysadmins and security operations centers. That's why the URL is so descriptive.
So an IT pro scrolling through their feed sees fake, LastPass, hijack, and knows immediately, okay, I need to warn my users about this.
Precisely. The URL itself serves as a signature for the threat. It validates that this is a known, verified campaign. It's not a rumor. It's a documented event in the new security directory.
Now here is the part that I find fascinating, the meta layer. The document we are actually looking at, the one that got sent to us, it isn't the Bleeping Computer article, it's the Google redirect notice pointing to it.
The previous page is sending you to.
It's a warning wrapper, and it feels incredibly ironic. We are analyzing a story about fake alerts that trick people while looking at a real alert designed to protect people.
It creates a perfect dichotomy of the modern web. On one side, you have malicious actors creating these, frictionless paths to destruction. Click here to fix your PC.
They're trying to remove your hesitation.
They are. And on the other side, you have the infrastructure, Google, browsers, security filters, trying to reintroduce friction.
That's a great way to put it. Friction as a security feature.
The redirect notice is pure friction. It stops your flow. It forces a cognitive pause. You sure? It's the digital equivalent of a speed bump.
But we've been trained to hate friction. We want pages to load instantly. We want one-click checkout.
And that desire for speed is exactly what the fake breach alert exploits. The redirect notice is the antidote. It forces you to look at the URL. If the victims of the PC hijack had taken a redirect notice moment, if they had just paused to inspect the URL of the fake alert, they would have seen it wasn't really LastPass.
So the redirect notice isn't just a technical utility, it's a philosophy.
It's a model for digital survival.
Yeah.
The Google redirect page explicitly assigns agency to the user. It says, if you do not want to visit that page, you can return. It reminds you that you have a choice. The fake alert tries to rob you of that choice by creating panic.
It's reflex versus reflection. The hackers want your reflex. Security tools want your reflection.
I might have to steal that phrase, but yes. In a world of PC hijacks, your only real defense against a fake alert is that moment of reflection.
Let's go back to the technical side of the hijack for a moment. I want to make sure we aren't glossing over how this happens. The URL says, fake alerts lead to... How does the software actually get on the machine? It's not magic.
Usually the landing page for these fake alerts will mimic the legitimate support page of the vendor LastPass, or Bitwarden in this case. It'll say something like, your vault is out of sync, or security certificate expired.
Which sounds plausible to the average user.
It sounds boring, which makes it credible.
Yeah.
Then it offers a button, update extension, or download security patch.
And that download is the payload.
Often, it's an executable file.
Yeah.
Or, increasingly, they'll instruct the user to copy and paste a script into a PowerShell terminal, claiming it's a verification code.
Oh, that's nasty. Using the user's own tools against them.
It's called living off the land.
Yeah.
If you paste that code, you are effectively telling your computer, please download this RAT and install it with administrative privileges. You are the one hijacking your own PC. The attacker just gave you the instructions.
That just recontextualizes the whole PC hijack phrasing in the URL. It's not just that the PC was taken, it's that the user was tricked into handing over the keys.
That's why fake is the most important word in that entire slug. The technical exploit is secondary to the psychological exploit.
Okay, so if we look at the timeline this URL implies. First, the setup, a campaign targeting LastPass and Bitwarden users.
Right. Then the bait, a fake breach alert designed to bypass logic.
Then the action. The user downloads the so-called fix.
And the result, PC hijack, total loss of control to a RA or an info stealer.
And the final step, which is implied by the source, being BleepingComputer. The community identifies the campaign, analyzes the payload, and warns the public.
Which brings us right back to our redirect notice. It's the signpost pointing to that warning. It's the map telling us where the landmines are.
You know, we started this by saying we were going to be digital archaeologists, and I feel like we've uncovered a whole civilization of threat actors just from this one line of text.
URLs are the DNA of the web. They don't just tell you where a page is, they tell you what the page is. This string fake LastPass Bitwarden breach alerts lead to P hijacks is a perfect specimen. It captures the current meta of cybercrime. High-value targeting, social engineering, and severe consequences.
It also highlights just how difficult it is to be a user today. You have to be smart enough to use a password manager, but also paranoid enough to distrust alerts from that password manager.
It's a high bar.
Yeah.
We are asking users to basically be their own security operations center.
So what's the takeaway here? Beyond just don't click, because that's advice from, what, 1999?
The takeaway is about channel verification. Real security alerts rarely, if ever, come through browser notifications or random pop-ups. If LastPass or Bitwarden has a breach, they will email you, or there will be a notification inside the legitimate app interface.
So if the alert is screaming at you from a browser tab,
Close the tab, open the app separately, check for messages there, never follow the link that is shouting at you. You have to break the chain.
break the chain. That goes back to the lead to part of the URL. If you break the chain, the fake alert never leads to the PC hijack.
Exactly. You disrupt the narrative before it reaches its tragic ending.
It's amazing how much is packed into the infrastructure we just ignore every day. We see a redirect notice and we groan because it takes an extra second. But that second is the only thing separating us from the chaos described in that destination URL.
Speed is the enemy of security. And that URL is a testament to what happens when you move too fast.
Well, I think I'm going to be reading my address bar a little closer from now on. It's not just an address, it's a dossier.
Always read the slug. It tells you what you're walking into.
Thanks for diving into this microscopic yet massive piece of the web with us. It's a good reminder that in a digital world full of redirect notices and breach alerts, the most dangerous thing isn't the code, it's the assumption that you know what you're looking at.
Verify everything.
Stay safe out there, pause, look, and then, only then click. We'll see you on the next deep dive.